We're in between finalizing approvals, getting bid docs done, and getting them out on the street. But I didn't want to go a few months without meeting, so I just figured we'd try to get everybody together real quick today, share some pictures. There's the agenda. We're going to talk about the temp station real quick, talk about the status of the new station, kind of an overview of the schedule. Nothing's really changed with that. We have some minutes to approve from last time if everybody saw them, and if we have enough people to do it, we can do that, or we can put it off till next time. And then our next meeting, when we get to that slide, we'll talk about it. Hoping to do that in October, skip September because you'll see when we talk about the schedule. By that meeting, we'll have the bids back, we'll have the projects, we'll have something more to talk about, and by then we'll hopefully be in the process of moving into the new station. So that's the agenda. So new temp space. This was the same slide I gave last time, and the only thing that's really changed on this is you can see the completion date for the renovation, that very last column. The date at the beginning we were shooting for was just after Labor Day. That's slipped a little bit. As of right now, it's 9/26. Still in the ballpark, still in September like we had hoped. Still would allow us to move in there in October like we hoped. But you know, we're keeping an eye on that. Our OPM is riding herd on the architect and the contractor over there. They're doing a good job. But I got one slide to show you about that. This slide on the left is, I shared it last time. That was what that big hallway and that big back empty room looked like at our last meeting. The slide on the right is what it looks like today. All the drywall is up, all the paving has happened. The ceiling, the light fixtures are all in. The ceiling is in some areas, not in this particular area, but in some areas it is. And flooring is going down as we speak, not in this area, but in another part of the building. Great. So we're getting there. You know, having been on a million school projects, you feel like you're never going to finish, and then all of a sudden a whole bunch of work happens, and you get there. But that was really the one picture I just wanted to share because it was a nice comparison from last time. I did take a video today. I'll play it just so we can look, but it's kind of quick. And I sent this out to everybody, email just right before the meeting started, so you all have this to be able to take a deeper look before. But this was kind of, Patrick and I were over there today dropping off the check. This is, if you can picture the building opposite the front door. So if we had walked in the back door, that long hallway going in the other direction. And I kind of just peeked into every room just to show how big they are. So that's that big long hallway I just showed you a picture of. So you can't really get a great perspective because of, as I said, running down the hallway with Patrick chasing me. You can't really tell how big the rooms are, but they're giant. Like that's a huge room. So Gary had just asked about
that's where those concrete pillars were, wasn't it?
Yes, this is where the towers were and all that. Fast forward down this hallway and see if we can get to the front of the building. Actually, the whole thing's only a minute, so I'll just it's another huge room coming up on the opposite side. Not really those two, but the one on the here is gigantic. So this is coming into that main hallway where the building used to divide between the warehouse. So this is to our right is where the chief is, and the deputy chief. This is sort of dispatch there. Now we're coming out to more. I think this is where the captains and officer in charge type of thing, couple bathrooms. And then this is the main lobby. So that door I just walked through would be locked. The public would only be able to get into this one area here. That's basically back into the main lobby. But like I said, we'll get in there and get you guys to hopefully be able to arrange a visit before we move in. So.
Are they working there every day?
Oh yeah. So this was the last visit. This was our schedule when we were for our last meeting. There were some things. So this top half of the schedule, can't really see it because of this, but this was kind of the documents where they were with the documents. This schedule at the bottom here was out about a week. This next one was the bid period. This schedule also out about a week. I'll show you the next slide has the new dates on it, but you'll see from here where we expected to be the 15th, we're now the 21st. Where we expected to be 9/23 with a notice to proceed and bids back the day before. Now we're more like the end of September, so we're a week out from there. And then on last beat, we've always been saying 22-month construction period, you know, because we're starting closer to the winter date. We're talking about, we just changed it to 24. Still could be 22, but those are the only changes in the schedule for the new building. Yeah, it's still kind of early. We haven't started doing anything yet. Once we start doing stuff, then that schedule becomes more realistic. And as things come up, I'm sure we'll talk every meeting about, do we have any schedule slip? You know, what do we do about that? A little bit easier when we're talking about a police station because school you have to open for September. Police station doesn't necessarily have to open on a specific day, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna try as hard as we can to make sure we're open when we plan to be. Overall, high-level schedule, nothing's really changed. That's the same schedule we've been talking about for a while now. There's been some slippage here and there, but it's still sort of at the highest level the same thing. We're still gonna go out to bid in August. That's still gonna happen. We're still gonna get the bids back and award a contract and move. And you know, we were saying September, October. That's October now. The project's going to begin in October, November. There'll be stuff happening over there. That's still likely to happen. It's going to be a 2-year project, still the same as of now, and we're still going to finish in the summer, fall, likely fall.
So you're projecting the bids will, you know, to put the project out for bid, what, about a week or two?
Next week, yep.
Next week, okay, yeah.
So as of that's scheduled, I'm going to share the project slides. So the only other thing I wanted to talk about was the renderings. Before we open it up to questions. So the website's been updated a little. It now has the newest pictures, the most updates on it. It's sort of been stagnant for about a month because, like I said, we're in the bidding period. We'll start getting, once we get the bids back, we'll get a budget doc up there. We'll get an updated schedule once we get a contractor on board and know how that looks. But this board has seen these pictures before. You can go on and look at them. These are sort of the view. There's the walking view videos on there, the view from all angles of the street as you walked around. There's the view with the trees, without the trees. Those are all on the website. But this was the final design that was approved by the planning board and select board and was shared with you all at our last meeting before our final planning board meeting. So that's scheduled, temp space, new space, really quick. Before we move to approved minutes, questions on what we've talked about? Oh, Gary.
Yeah, as far as, you're using brick, right?
Yep.
Is that brick included in the final price of the
Yep.
project?
Yep.
It's not any extra charge?
Well, it's going to cost more than it would have before without the brick, but we still expect it to be fine.
How much more was the cost?
Tough to say. We'll know when the bids come back, but it was we did a 90% estimate at 90% drawings. There was an estimate done a week or two ago, and we're under budget, including the brick. So the change before our last meeting was we extended the Sally Port out another bay and got rid of the outbuilding. And the thoughts were that outbuilding was projected to cost over $1 million. And the thoughts were we were going to be able to save enough to cover adding brick, which was desirable to our own folks. So we don't expect to, as of right now, Kevin's back there probably staring a hole in the back of my head. Barbara, let me unmute you. You might be able to unmute yourself, Barbara. Let's see. Oh. I just sent you a unmute request, Barbara, for your
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, great, thanks. I just wanted to ask what about the approximate demolition date for the existing police station, and what plans are in place for dust control, but also other controls to make sure that the neighboring properties are not adversely impacted during demo.
So, we won't have a definite date for demo until we get a contractor on board, but it's likely going to be one of the first things they do after they mobilize and put the fencing up. And our plan is to have another one of those abundance meetings, invite folks to just talk about exactly that, what we're required to do, what we plan to do, and then also to be able to share the contact information for those folks on site that are going to be there, something's bugging them, the person they can talk to for either noise or dust or anything like that. But we won't know that date until after the contractor's on board. But Kevin, it's likely November.
Probably within a month.
Yeah. So if they're on board at the beginning of October, they're going to probably, they'll show up right after that, and then stuff will start happening, and that's likely when we'll have a meeting. And very beginning of November, we'll start seeing stuff coming down.
Okay, when you're working on the noise and dust control plan, could you please involve the planning department in that so that they can share with you what we've learned in the past from projects that were near to residential homes? There was some learning there, and they can probably help out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
John, maybe through you to Kevin, how long of a period of time do you anticipate for the complete demolition to take place?
Well, it's going to take us a little bit longer than we normally, because we have to be a little bit with our hope to save as much of the historical materials as we can. It's really just a deboarding.
So you're going to strip the building first and then,
Yes, it's not going to be as easy as an 1800s building walking up and wrecking ball it down. But I don't expect it. It's going to add some cost and a little bit of time, but it's not going to double the amount of time it comes down. Yeah, it's a few weeks.
a few weeks?
It comes down in a few weeks.
I would think that if it was...
Few weeks.
I would think that if it was just... I would think that if we were just demoing the building, it would be down in probably 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
But the salvage part probably will add another couple of weeks, so I would say by the end of November, everything should probably be down, assuming that they probably start around the 1st of November.
Then they come in and pour the foundation.
Then they'll start, the good thing is by demoing the building, we're already starting the demo, for the excavation for the new construction, so they'll just continue with once they get the existing foundation out, they'll continue excavating for the new foundation. And get
At that time, what will they do to mitigate any water accumulation from, the groundwater?
We have, in the specifications, we have a dewatering program that we require them to do. There's also, it's called a SWIP, which is a stormwater something, that they've got to maintain during the entire construction period.
And the engineers and Board of Health and Conservation, they're all aware and on top of you when you're doing that.
Yeah, because there's a serious issue, as you know, in the basement of that building, where you've got that big plate that's, that water is running through there. So that's going to be a major issue, I think.
Yeah, we've got a perimeter drain system that's being put in now. We've reviewed it with the geotech, and that's going to be all part of the base contract, along with proper waterproofing of the exterior wall, of the foundation walls.
Good.
John?
Yep.
Just kind of a suggestion, I thought, during the time that the building is vacant, this is more like a police question, what about having the police department, SWAT team, or fire department practice in there? Talk to Danny on that?
My understanding, once it's done,
Yeah.
we don't have access to the building, Jimmy.
Yeah, and with winter approaching, we're the schedule, we're probably going to be
Because
pushing.
I know the SWAT team is done.
Right, we've done it in the past
Yeah.
in other communities. There's an area up in Westford they used all the time, but I don't think that the time frame and the planning we're doing also that we're going to be able to do a good idea, but just the timing is not.
We can ask.
All right. The only other thing to mention is the sculptures are starting to move, too. They've started to move the sculptures.
Yep, so there's 4 left, 2, 3, 3 on the common and 1 right here in between this building and the building beside it. The 2 big benches were moved first so far. It's been very good. And Barbara's on and John Sachs have been involved the whole way. And so far, so good. So like I said, it was a quick update. We sort of talked about the abutters. We'll be doing something with the abutters in beginning of October. We'll probably try to do what we did before and do both a night meeting and a morning meeting to try to make sure we give everybody the opportunity to hear. We'll have the contractor on board. We'll have the clerk of the works. We'll have everybody there so everybody can know who's who and who to call. And that's sort of what we told them at our last meetings. We said, you're going to know who to call, and in the end, you can always call here, and we'll get on it. Historical, we keep on there. I know Chief Brown, who's unable to make it today, and Wayne's not here. Wayne has been working with Chief Brown to try to nail down quantities of, I in a perfect world did want every single piece of historical material that's in the building. It's not realistic to think that, so we're trying to find out what's a good amount that we can save without adding a ton of costs or time to the demo. So we're going to finish that by next week because we need to.
Yes.
And then we'll continue to leave historical and abutters on there, at least until after the demo's done, and abutters will leave on for the whole time.
Just to that point, just to maybe expedite the demo a little, can someone go into historical or whoever to identify what they want saved?
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
All right.
That's what we're kind of going through, because at one point, there was a thought that in the rafters, they were full timbers, which would be historical, but they're not. So it's really just the beadboard and the roof materials.
What about the creosote soaked stairs that if they ever caught fire?
But that's really it. Like I said, quick update. I didn't mean to bring everybody out in the summer and have to come out for a meeting, but I also didn't want to go all the way till October without at least giving an update of where we are. I wanted to give the good news about we have the estimates back. Everything looks good so far. This has been a very great bidding time versus estimates, because as you know, these guys always fluff up their estimate anyway. So we're very excited about that, to get those docks on the street and get the numbers back and be able to have some great news and know we have a project at our next meeting. And I'll work on trying to get us a walkthrough over at the temp space as they get to sort of finalize, maybe right before they finalize, something we can do at the end of the day after they're done and cleaned up. Maybe they'll give us permission just for this group to run through. We'll take a video and you guys can all see it, but don't want to promise that one yet because I want it to be done first. So
Did you want to approve the minutes?
oh yeah, sorry about that.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
So we got a couple people online too, so we should, if they're going to vote, we should do it roll call, but I can't unlock mine.
Barbara has her hand raised again.
Yeah. I just checked Mrs. Byer.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a quick comment. I wanted to just thank the people involved in moving the sculptures, mainly John Sachs, and I think it's the Highway Department. They've done a great job so far, and I think that it's really going to be a wonderful sculpture walk. We've already started to receive some positive feedback from residents, so I wanted to commend the guys for doing such a great job moving them.
Okay. Is everybody okay voting on the minutes? Yeah? Yeah? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Barbara and Kathy, yeah, both aye, okay. Unanimous.
Aye.
Good enough. Okay, I sent everybody the slides, so you'll have those pictures and, a couple pictures of the video. And then I'll be in touch after Labor Day and see if we can set up a walkthrough. All right, thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.